coilovers. This thing is bumpy. What's going on, guys? My name is Alex Widuch and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is a great intro. Let me know what you guys think. Should I introduce the unicycle intros more often? Just dug this thing up. But anyway, guys, we're hopping off that thing. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having an awesome day. Went out for a drive this morning in the Mark 6. I'm absolutely loving these coilovers. If you guys missed the install video, that is the previous video. I have it linked down below. Super excited for it. We also announced a 20,000 subscriber giveaway. This thing is awesome. I'm super hyped on it. So let's get started with today. Hope you guys are having a great day. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed. And for all the new people, welcome to the channel. So before I vlogged this morning, I went out for a drive just to figure out how much I really like the car being slammed, the height, my thoughts on it. And I really wanted to bring you guys who aren't already on coilovers or thinking of having coilovers, or who are on coilovers and they're not even that low, give you my opinion on how low to go and what's dailyable essentially. So I'm looking at this car right now and let's go over it and drive it. I put myself in kind of a dilemma when I installed these rear coilovers, and I did not install the spring perch with it. It's just a spring in there and the BC coilover shock as well, and the shock is always the stiffest dampening that it goes. There's the shock and there's the spring. Now usually when you install coilovers for the first time, you should definitely throw the perch in there to see if you can get that spring a little bit higher and you can adjust the threads and stuff like that, but I didn't because I wanted to see how low the car would go. If you're going to be installing coilovers for the first time and you don't want to go stupid low and you still want to be a dailyable driver, here's the spring perch. This is what I was thinking about putting in, but I did not put it, and I still might put it in. Currently been driving this car. I really love going for daily morning drives, and I love driving back roads, and that's why I wanted to modify this car. I really like driving cars, and at the end of the day, I already have two stupid low stance cars. This is a 28K BC setup, and the car in this inside is also BC setup, but that's a 40K where I ride the bags at 150 PSI, and the car also has crazy camber, so I can't really take crazy turns with that car, and this car isn't really registered yet, so I can't really drive back roads. But this TDI right here is my daily driver, and I really want to make some decent power with it. About 500 foot-pounds of torque, 200 horsepower, 250 horsepower, somewhere around there, and that's a lot of power. That's big turbo, full deletes, exhaust, all that fun stuff. And I want it to be my daily driver. I want it to be a sleeper takedown car, so nothing outlandish, but at the same time aggressive. These I might still install. For most of you guys who want to drive stupid low, the BC coilovers are definitely a good come up. I got these used on Instagram. Well, I got them from a friend that I met through Instagram. The front isn't terribly low, but it's also not back road happy. I did smack the subframe about 5 times this morning, and that's 5 times more than I really want to. So I might raise this car up about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in the front. But for now, I really want to see how low it is with the front splitter and stuff. I do like the aggressive look, but for the daily drivable, I'm not into how slammed it is. You guys can definitely see it is slammed in the back, it is slammed in the front, and I was more than ecstatic with the height. As far as the front end goes, the preload is completely set up on these, and all that is done for lowering this car in the front is the collar itself is completely maxed out to as low as it goes. So it has the stock OEM preload on there, which is good. And these front coilovers honestly ride a lot better than the rear. When I hit a bump in the rear, it kind of smashes down, but like I said, it's kind of dumped in the rear. There's limited movement, so I'm not surprised by that. But in the front here, this is kind of daily drivable. It keeps smacking on the this plastic liner in here, which isn't a huge deal. I'm used to smacking the liners. I actually have the liner inside of the purple car, the Mark 5 camber car, but in this car I don't have the liners, and I haven't really gone too far in it or hit enough bumps to actually have an issue. But the previous driver was a crazy static driver, so on the inside of there, it's actually all burnt, no big deal. But as far as the front goes on this car, this front of the car actually drives really well. It's kind of dailyable, but like I said, keep smacking the subframe, and that is not my goal with this car. The goal with this car, as you guys can see, I live in the woods, and those are a lot of trees, but you know what's underneath those trees? There's a lot of back roads, there's a lot of bumps, there's a lot of turns, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to drive, and I don't want to miss out on. So if I want to take back roads about 65 miles an hour, and really right now I have to watch out for bumps, and I don't want to watch out for bumps. I wanted a stiffer riding car, but I did not want to lose my handling. So I think we're going to be raising this car. I'm not sure how high we're going to be raising it. We're not raising it today, but that's my thoughts on it. If you want to be able to daily drive a car like this, this height is completely fine for you, just to max out the coilovers, get them in the box, max them out. They'll ride great. Don't ride a bucket in the rear, and ride it like that. As far as my thoughts go on the install was really easy. I messed up. I did not remove the axle nut at first, so it was really hard to move it around. But if you just remove the axle nut, as you guys see in the video, if you guys missed it, definitely go hit the link in my description. The video is linked there. This job should honestly, if you know what you're doing, take you maybe 2.5 hours. It took me about 5 because I honestly was being really lazy. I love to go on my phone. I love to scroll my TikTok. I just like getting distracted. So making this video, I just wanted to have fun. I did it all by myself in the garage. It went swimmingly. And as far as the install goes, on a hard scale from 1 to 10, if you don't know what you're doing, it's probably a 4. It's really simple. And my video really educates a lot of people, maybe not in the best way, but definitely a productive way. So before we pull this thing out, have some fun, hit some bumps, hit some turns, pull out this driveway, hit some speed, and check out how these coilovers feel, I wanted to give a huge Instagram shout out to sedated_ST. And if you want a chance to have your Instagram shout out, all you need to do is comment down below #turbo and leave your Instagram as well, and you have the chance to be shouted out in the next video. Now let's head out and have some fun. My favorite thing to do when I had the stock suspension was to pull out of my driveway, look both ways before I did it, but doing like 20 miles an hour, where now I have to go kind of slow because one, we'll show you later, but underneath this car, there's probably about a 2.5-inch gap between the subframe and the ground, which is honestly really low, especially for a daily driver. Right down this road, there's just a couple of bumps. They put these lines in the road, and they're honestly really uncomfortable for when I drive because, like I said, it's completely dumped in the rear, so the shock doesn't really get to do its job. In the front, the coilover really doesn't have much movement because it's completely slammed. So these 8K springs honestly feel like, I would say like 15K springs, but they also ride really wishy-washy, and it's something I'm complaining about because I'm so used to the stock suspension. But if you're going to be going coilovers, just know obviously your ride is going to be a little bit it's not going to be as comfortable, but it's still comfortable. I was filming it, but we had a really bad storm, so my road is completely full of dirt and mud and all this different debris, and I just ran over probably a 3-inch tall rock. I would call it a boulder for a stance car, and I ran this thing over, and I knew it would hit my oil pan if I didn't do something quick, so I moved really quick so it like hit the control arm or something, but it made a really loud noise, and honestly, you could take out the gas tank, it could take out anything, and I'm not even stupid low yet. So hey, look, a little lowered Volkswagen. Who are you? If you're gonna be doing coilovers, definitely take into account that you're gonna have to be, you know, looking around and stuff like that. So for my daily driver, I definitely want to raise this thing up. It's looking more and more like this thing's gonna have to raise a couple inches, but also right now it's not driving the best because I don't have a sway bar in the car. I have a sway bar, but I did not put the end links because of how dumped this car is. Even the shorter sway bar end links were not short enough for this car. So I guess if I'm going performance, I definitely want to put the sway bar end links back in. Railroad track, super violent, definitely not the best. Every single time I drive this car, it drives really nice down the road. It goes kind of straight. I obviously have to get in alignment because I lowered my car a whole bunch. The wheel is semi-crooked. The other night when I first did this, it felt fine, but it definitely tracks to the left. It doesn't track to the left as hard as it used to. This car always had a bad alignment ever since I bought it, and I just never got in alignment. But we're gonna be getting in alignment shortly, but I don't know if I should get in alignment right now or if I should just wait a little bit. So I just passed someone in a black Mark 7. I'm seeing so many like stand-style cars today, it's pretty cool. But I definitely need to get in alignment, and definitely need to get those sway bar end links in there. The road that we just got on is covered in patchwork. This is one of the roads I drive in my morning drives. I drive a whole lot of roads, and a lot of them are covered in patchwork. I mean, as far as patchwork goes, I'm definitely gonna have to raise the car, and I personally would raise the car up a whole bunch. So for dailyable, definitely don't slam your coilovers. This thing is bumpy, but this road is just completely terrible. So we're driving home right now, and I want to go check out that subframe to see if that rock did any damage, but I also want to go ahead and show you guys how low this car actually is and how it really doesn't reciprocate the goals that I really have for this car, and how low it really drives compared to how low I want it to drive. So let's pull back home, let's show you underneath this car, show you how actually ignorantly low this car truly is. It just looks kind of tall because it's on the stocks, and we'll get a better look at it. Now normally I would actually do about 35 miles an hour over this thing, and I'm gonna about do the same speed. Oh, and that was all skid plate. I don't know if you guys heard it because the truck went over at the exact same time, but the skid plate just completely smashed the ground. Now there's a box in the middle of the road where sometimes I would just drive over that, but I can't now because it'll just drag underneath the car. So I got these coilovers to ride lower, but it's honestly way too ignorantly low. And I guess that's the main reason I made this video, is to show you guys what to do, what not to do, and if you're a daily driver, how low to actually make your car. So as you guys can definitely see, this car looks and drives lower than stock, and it looks kind of aggressive. So Let's check underneath that car and let's see if that rock did any damage. Even though the lip is about that high underneath the car, there's literally an only 1.5 to 2 inch gap underneath there. And I saw the rock last second. It was right in the middle of my car, and actually it went off that way and hopefully hit some of the plastics underneath here, but I don't see a tear in the skid plate, which is good, because if it hit my oil pan, I would have been crying. Now, if you guys are installing coilovers for the first time, I definitely highly suggest that you throw the spring perch in the rear, see what height you like. If you don't like it, ditch it. If you want your car to be that low, don't put the spring perches. Just max out the coilovers and you'll be happy. I think that the thing looks completely awesome. I love it. But as far as this car being my daily and the power goals that I am actually going for, I don't think it would be smart. Just ordered some stuff from the exterior of the car. I want to get headlights and stuff like that. So if anyone has any ideas or wants to see anything on the car and suggesting it down below, go ahead, throw a link. And I think that this car is looking really awesome. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. What I should do. What do you guys think about the coilovers? Am I low enough? Am I too low? Give your suggestions and leave your cars and ideas below. I'm really excited to throw these tie rods into the car when I raise up the coilovers. I couldn't put them in because the coilovers were actually too low, and I was really excited to slam the car. But as you guys can see, way lower than I wanted for my daily driver. But these new sway bar end links are way more like stiff and way less floppy than the other ones. See, these ones were kind of blown anyway. So these light moves around. This one you can't move at all without moving the whole thing, and really it doesn't even move. So I'm really excited to throw that in there. But guys, on that note, that's gonna wrap up today's videos. That's my ideas and my coilovers. That's my situation. This idea goes for any set of coilovers, really. They all go basically the same exact height if you're gonna be getting a stock OEM to your car, no special order type stuff. And I'm really happy with this. If this wasn't my daily, I would leave it at this height, but I love ripping this car back roads way too much. So that's me a wrap on today's video. Make sure you guys remember, don't let anyone put you down. Do whatever you want to your car, and don't let anyone's ideas discourage you, I guess you could say. A little bit of a tongue twister, but at the end of the day, just be happy with what you got going on. And we're on the road to 50K, baby. So make sure you guys are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're smiling. And have a good one, guys. Peace out, and keep doing you. Peace.